Hello everyone. This is Riya Kumari, your host for the day from the Logical Indian team. I welcome you all to today's Talk to Lawyer session, which will be headed by a special guest, Damini Bhaskar from Vakil Search. It will be an interactive session about buying or selling property in India, highlighting the legal problems and remedies. Our guests will be arriving in no time, so I request you all to stay put. Meanwhile, I would like to inform everyone that a Q&A session is coming at the end of the event, so feel free to drop any questions which you feel is important during the discussion. Allow me a moment to invite the guest, please. Our guest will be arriving soon, so I request you all to stay connected.
Hi, Ria.
Could you please reverse the camera?
Hi, Ria. Here. Can you see me?
I can't see you. Could you please reverse the camera?
It's already done. Um, Hi, Ria.
Hi, Damini. Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are. Am I audible?
Okay. Yes, you are audible. So we have Damini
And you can
Bhaskar
see
over
me, right?
here. Welcome to the session, Damini. I would like to take the
Thank you.
time
Thank you
to
so much.
introduce her briefly to the audience. Damini Bhaskar is a property law expert at Vakil Search with 8 years of litigation experience in the Madras High Court. As I already mentioned, sorry, please continue, Damini. Yeah, welcome to the session, Damini. So, as I already mentioned, Damini is here to create awareness regarding laws for selling and buying properties in India. Now, I request Dhamini to take over as we have an audience waiting for her. Over to you, Dhamini.
Hi, Ria. I hope I'm audible and lookable. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's all fine. You can please continue.
Yes. So today is actually an interesting topic. Real estates in India, how to buy and sell properties in India, right? So
Definitely.
uh, anyone is interested in buying and selling properties. Yeah, why would they say no for that? Everyone want to invest in real estate. And they always feel that it is just one way. You go finalize a property, say, be it a land or a building. or any commercial establishments, and then they are just going and investing in that particular property, right? I just want to tell that there are other ways of investing into real estate properties. Yeah, this is an orthodox way of real estate investments. Like if you like a property, you go, you finalize terms with your sellers, and then you invest in that property. What other ways are that? There are real estate investment groups. So what happens is, if Ria as a person and 10 others in Logical Indian team likes a property, and you all say, for example, it's a commercial or an industrial property, you all individually can't buy the property. Yeah. So what you people would do is, you will form as a group, and you will pick like a particular property, and then say, I'm going to invest 10 percentage to it. Yeah, each of you investing 10 percentage into the property. 10 of you are there now, and you all demarcate which one will be your property. Like if there is a 10-storied building, each one of you select one story each. Yeah, and then you invest into that property. This group is so unorganized. Yeah, but still you are a group. You can even create a WhatsApp group, invest in a very like a commercial property individually. If Ria thinks she can't invest into a commercial property because of some financial constraints, if she joins hands with her 9-member group, the other 9 in the group, then she can invest in a commercial property. Yeah. Now, this is so unorganized. This is the second way of investing into real estate. The third is ideally a real estate investment trust. Yeah, wherein this group of people now start a trust or a company to invest into real estate properties. Ideally, this, as like what happened in the recent days, is that there are companies which do real estate investments. What Ria as a person can do is, she can go purchase shares in the company. By way of purchasing shares in a company, now you become a owner of a property. Yeah, if company X is having a property worth say 10 crore rupees, and you go purchase like 10 shares from the company, and that is worth to about 50 lakhs or 60 lakhs, then you own a piece of land. Yeah, indirectly. Right. So there is not just one way to invest into real estate today. Because of the technological advancements that we have, there are multiple ways to invest into real estate today. Yeah. And one thing that we are missing out is that, how do we keep a check of what to look into? Yeah. What to look into before investing into real estate. I think this session we can just use to see what are the things that you have to look into before buying or investing into a real estate property. Yeah. And one thing that I would want to appraise everyone of is that it is not just the credibility of the builder or the seller. Yeah, there are a lot of legalities to it. You just have to look into a lot of legal documents before buying and selling a property. Yeah, for example, the document checklist itself would be different for each kind of a property. If it is just a land, right, the documents checklist would be very simple. Like you have to see whether they have the revenue records in their name, whether there is a parent deed, the mother document, the sale deed in the seller's name. Yeah, or the transfer deed in the seller's name is available with them. Apart from that, you don't require, you maybe probably check on the encumbrance certificate if there are any other transactions in this property. But if you are looking at a same kind of a land in a layout, yeah, where there is a layout, and there are some amenities attached to that layout, and you want to invest in that property, now you have to additionally look into the layout approvals as well. Yeah, and other documents that are given as gift to the municipal offices or any corporation offices in that particular area. Now, if it is a building, yeah, and not just the land, there are building approvals and other boards that give approval. There is RERA today which has to give an approval. So all these things are to be looked into. If it is an industrial establishment, there are much more to the list. Yeah, so the document checklist itself would differ from one type of a property to other type of a property. Yeah, so what best can happen is, any person investing into a real estate property will have to first get an advice from a proper real estate advocate, whether they can go in for that particular investment or not, whether the legalities attached to the property are clear or not. And I think Vakil Search have now recently started a Talk to Expert program, in which you can talk to a lawyer or an expert at just 99 rupees. I think the link is also available on the bio of Vakil Search's handle and also on the Insta story of Logical Indian, which they can look into. If you
If
have
you have
any questions
any
relating to
questions
this, we
relating to
can
this,
go
we can
into
go
this.
into this.
Yeah, so you said it very right, Damini. I think there is a whole side to it, especially legal side, which people are not aware of. And I personally am not aware of. So I think we can just start with answering questions. Okay,
Right,
so
sure.
now that we see we have questions pouring in, I would request Dhamini to address them one by one. And I further encourage our audience to put their queries forward in the question section. So starting with, we have a question from Saro underscore VSK. What do you think about current political situation? So I think that is something out of context. We can skip that. So I would encourage people. You have any questions? I am sure there are a lot of questions related to property because this is something people are very much. Yeah, so this is something people are very much interested in. So I would request the audience to start questioning. So okay.
I think there was a
There's
question
a
as
question
to
as
which
to which
authority
authority
they have to
they
look
have to
into,
look
yeah,
into,
or
yeah,
reach out
or
to when
reach
there is
out to
an
when there
issue
is
with
an
the
issue with
seller.
the
Yeah.
Yes, so
So,
in the
in
year
the year
2017,
2017,
I have
I have
echo of my
echo of
voice.
my
Am
voice.
I
Am I
audible
audible
to you?
to you?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the year
So, in
2017, the government had come up with the Real Estate
state
Regulatory
regulatory
Authority.
authority,
Okay.
That is
that
the
is the
responsible
responsible
authority at
authority
this
at this
moment.
moment.
So if
So,
the
if the
completion certificate of the project is given post 2017, then all properties or any issues with those properties can be uh, gone to the real estate authorities, the real estate regulatory authorities. They are in each state. Yeah. Post 2017. If it is before 2017, then of course the consumer forum or the regular civil courts. Consumer forum is the most sought after for any issues with your seller or the buyer, builder. Because the consumer courts are overwhelmed, and the government also thought there should be a dedicated authority to deal with real estates. They had started this real estate regulatory authority in the year 2017, and there are a hell lot of cases now pending with the authorities as well. And it is set for a quicker remedy. Yeah, unlike being stagnant like civil courts, the real estate authorities are providing remedy within a very short span.
Right. So now we have another question from 21 underscore Ria. How can we estimate the circle rate and the rate quoted by the seller?
Okay, so every state will have its own ready reckoner. Yeah. That's called guideline value or the circle rate in a lot of states. So you have to look into the ready reckoner of each state, and you have to determine whether the circle rate given by the seller is correct or not. But remember, the circle rate and the market rate are two different things. Yeah, they are not one and the same. The
Right.
market rate can be higher than the circle rate, but it's always usually on the circle rate the sale is done. Yeah.
Okay, that's correct, Tamini. Now we have next question from Abhilash underscore Maru. Can we buy a property in India if I stay in USA?
Yeah, of course. This is one question that most NRIs are like just stuck, right? So, see, it's a procedural thing. Yeah, when you are staying abroad, all that you have to do is draft the power of attorney, of course, through with the help of a lawyer, and notarize it abroad wherever they are staying. In spite of it being US or any other countries, and go to the High Commission of that particular country. If they are in the US, they have to go to the Indian embassy and get that registered there. From there, the embassy would send the document to India, to the concerned jurisdiction in India, and the power of attorney, like whoever we are appointing as a power of attorney, they have to go to the office and get this adjudicated, whatever document that came from abroad. Yeah, so that
Okay.
process needs to be done within a specific timeline. Yeah, it's just a procedural thing, but there is no hard and fast rule that, or it is not difficult to do. It is just a extended procedure. In case if they want help, they can reach out to us by clicking on the link in the bio.
Yeah, so it's just that there is a long set of procedures which they need to follow, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
So, moving to the next question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
Okay, there is this person called Vignesh who had asked, are there any refunds for token advances if the documents aren't in order? Oh, that's a wonderful question. Because see, token advances in India is not something that is streamlined, right? You are just
right.
making a reservation to buy a property. Say if the property's worth is about 50 lakhs, then they would be paying somewhere between 50,000 to about a lakh as token advance. Even the RERA Act governs only when the advance amount is more than 10 percentage. It has to be on a sale agreement and all that. But token advance is a very small amount that you pay. And unless and until it is agreed between the seller and the buyer that it will be refunded in case if the documents are not in order, there is no other way that you can get it unless and until you go for a civil proceeding. Yeah,
Okay.
that the documents are not at all in order and this person had just tried to cheat me with this property documents and things like that. Except in those cases, the token advances are not returnable, at least as a market practice. Yeah, the two things in real estate, one is a market practice and the other is law. By law, token advances is not even a thing. Yeah, we
Okay.
don't even have token advances by law. Yeah, but that is by practice not possible. Only when you pay some money, they are even going to share the property documents because they are going to keep it on hold, right? So they would definitely not refunding it, and unless and until we go in for a criminal or a civil proceeding.
Okay. So, but I think
Yeah.
it's very common in India, like people take token advances.
Yes, definitely. Without token advances, they
Yeah.
don't give it. Yeah, that's the
But I
practice
didn't
these
know
days.
that it was not legal.
Oh, the
Yeah.
only after 10 after it crosses 10 percentage of the total consideration,
Okay.
like if it is a
Mm-hmm.
crore worth property and you're going to enter it for a crore and you're paying more than 10 lakhs, it can be entered into the agreement. Otherwise, the agreement is also not registrable. It need not necessarily be registered, the sale agreement.
Okay.
So that is a glitch.
All right. So now let's move to the next question. There's a question from Shruti Chopra. At what age we can invest in real estate?
Oh, that's a nice question. They should maybe ask a financial advisor, not a real estate lawyer. There is no age. As soon as you start earning money, I think everyone would want to invest in real estate. Yeah.
Right.
If they do not have a own house or a roof to stay of their own, then I think that should be their first investment. Every person, I believe, should have their own roof to stay under. Yeah. Otherwise, you will be
Okay.
spending a lot on rents.
Yeah, that is the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So next question, how to know if a property is dispute free before buying?
Dispute. So you have to take a legal advice before going for it. The lawyers would ideally be checking all the relevant documents. They would be checking into the litigation if there are any pending litigation from all relevant court sides possible. And they will also check whether there is any encumbrance in the property by looking into the encumbrance certificate. They'll apply for the encumbrance certificate. In some states, the encumbrance certificate is going to the office and checking whether there are any transactions in the property as well. So, a lawyer's advice is the best that they can take to see whether the property is dispute free. And I think they can check on the link in the bio to get an expert advice in case if they are looking to purchase a property.
Yeah, so I agree that it's best to, take a lawyer and take a lawyer's advice and just stay safe.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the next question. If I'm buying a property, how do I find out exactly how large it is?
Okay, so maybe the extent, they mean the extent, right?
Hmm.
We usually demarcate it by the planning permits and approvals that they have. Yeah, but the proper way to do this is to appoint a licensed surveyor to check whether the meets and bounds. We say there is this term called meets and bounds in property law, wherein
Yeah.
you check every boundary and the meter of the property. Yeah. So length and breadth along with the boundaries of the properties have to be checked before investing into the property. What a lawyer can help is to check whether as per the documents and as per the original site, is it one and the same? Yeah. That is something that is possible through a legal advice itself.
Mhm. Right. So the next question is from this is underscore Namita. Is the market value and guideline value of a property are one and the same?
No, I think we answered that already. So it is
Okay.
not one and the same. The market value of the property can be higher, like 2x, 3x higher than the circle rate or the guideline value of the property. Yeah, so guideline value is fixed by the government, basically the state government, and they fix that based on the amenities that are there at this moment. Yeah, if they fix it today, they are not going to change it at least for the next 3 years or 5 years. Yeah, usually
Okay.
they don't change it for 3 years or 5 years. But when you see there is a rapid growth in real estate, right? At like 2022, there is a 7.50% growth in the real estate investments in India. So when the investments go higher, the properties values also go higher. So the circle rate or the guideline value would be way less than the market value of the property.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's skip to another question.
Is the power agent of the property trustworthy? I read it from Mr. Kam. Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Kam should be really calm about whether their power agent is trustworthy. See, you always appoint your well wisher as your power agent. Yeah. You can at no point in time appoint a stranger as a power agent. In necessarily when they are an outsider and when they are responsible for selling your property and giving back the consideration that they are going to get from the buyers, they you have to keep a
Hmm.
thorough check. You have to keep an independent and thorough check on whether there is any transaction that is happening through the power of attorney. Yeah, so
Right.
that is a check that the principal should keep doing month on month, or like say even regularly, uh, when they have appointed someone strange as a power of attorney.
Right. So let's move on to the next question. Also, Dhamini, I have a question because I have got this opportunity. So I would also like to question you that I'm very curious to know that like which authority can I approach when there is a issue with the seller or say builder?
Yeah, so you have to approach the real estate regulatory authorities only. Yeah, on whatever the issue may be. The issue can be a delayed possession. They might promise you a possession today and they will never give you the possession, and it does not even look like they are going to give that hand over the possession in 2 years or 3 years' time. You can reach out to the real estate regulatory authority. The other ways where you can reach out to a regulatory authorities is when there are defects in the product, like property, right? Most often even a newly entered house will be leaking on their ceilings. They would not have put the furniture like they have promised, or if they don't meet their promise at any time, you can always reach out to the real estate regulatory authorities and get your things sorted. Yeah.
Okay, all right, got it. So
Yes.
we have another question from Ankur Jha 038. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
who is liable to pay the stamp duty and registration fee, buyer or seller?
It is basically the understanding that the buyer and seller had. So the seller always these days propose that it's an all-inclusive price, yeah, for the building. But as per law, it is always on the buyer. Yeah, the seller always proposes a all-inclusive price, but the amount that needs to go for the stamp duty and registration fee should be from the buyer's account. Yeah, it has to be directly transferred from the buyer's account by way of a DD or a NEFT transfer to the registration authorities. So it's on the buyer legally.
Okay. So there is
Yeah.
another question. It's again from Namita.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she has a question that if I build a house near to highway, then should I donate 5 feet in the front of my house near to highway to the government?
You need not donate as such. See, this is like only when there is a notice of acquisition from the government, or if there is any notification from the government on newspapers or on gazettes, will they even acquire any property. Otherwise, you need not necessarily donate anything unless and until you are creating a very big layout or creating a layout and then selling plots. You need not necessarily donate anything to the government. If the government decides to acquire your property, then in that case, you will be having a right of compensation as well. Namita may always look into the bio and the Insta story of the Logical Indian page to see whether she wants any assistance from an expert, and she can click on the link available there.
Yeah. So now let's see. Let's move to another question.
So there is a question from Mayurakshi that my brother has illegally acquired my land. What can I do? Yeah.
Okay.
So we have to basically see the nature of this property, whether this is the viewer's self-acquired property, or is this their ancestral property that she and her brother owns together. And there are a lot of things that we have to follow. If it is an ancestral property, she will have right equal to her brother. Yeah, and if it is
Right.
her self-acquired property, she will have the full right. So because of these nitty-gritties, I think we might have to get in detail to the question, and she can look into the link on the Vakil Search's Instagram profile or the Logical Indians story for talking to our expert. Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yes.
So there's another question. Do I need to procure any evidence for paying a token advance from the seller?
Uh-huh. You can always uh, take an evidence, like you have to create that evidence. You can't expect any receipt from your seller. You can transfer it by way of like a bank transfer, or you can issue a check for the same, so that you have a track of it. Yeah. And at any point in time, if the documents are not in order, then you can go before the court and say that, see, this person had intentionally tried to cheat me by saying that he has a property which is not even his property. Yeah. In other cases, if you are getting back or backing out of the property, then the seller himself is not concerned. So in all other cases, you are the one who should create that evidence. Yeah. Most cases, the sellers don't give a receipt for the token advance received.
Okay. So the next question is from Praveen Raj. What options are there for investing in real estate properties?
Yeah, so like we said in the beginning of the session, there are three ways. One is an orthodox route where you go shortlist a property, pay the advances, and get the property. The other one is through a group of friends forming, like coming together to purchase a property. And the third one is a real estate investment trust, wherein even when you invest in a company which owns a property, these are real estate companies which owns properties, and they promise you that when you invest in the company, through the shares you get the right to the property. That right at some point even gives you the right to go stay in the property, rent it out, enjoy the rental benefits and everything. So there are various ways today to invest into real estate properties, and I think we just are sticking on to the first one, which is like the orthodox route. We have to just explore and see what other options are available.
Right, that is. Now, let's go for the next question. Meanwhile, I would encourage the audience that you can actively put forward your questions.
So there is a question from Harish which states, what documents should one obtain from the seller when purchasing a property? Like I said, it differs totally on the type of property that you are purchasing, Mr. Harish. So you have to make sure what is the kind and then go for the document checklist. The basic checklist would be the parent documents pertaining to the property, the revenue documents like the Patta or the Khata or the 712 or the Sadhvara extract that you have in your particular state, and the encumbrance certificate pertaining to the property. If it is a building or a layout or an independent house, then you have to look into all the layout approvals, building plans, permits, etc. So you may talk to our experts by clicking on the link on the bio and see if your checklist is matching the experts checklist as well.
Right. So there's a next question from Rao Karti. If government acquire my property, then how much am I eligible for compensation? Is it market value or guidelines value?
It is always guideline value, but you can always go to the court and claim that the market value of the property is way too higher than the guideline value. Like I said, government fixes the guideline value today and forget it for the next 5 years, within which time the property's values are hiked, right? So you can always go to the government and go to the high court, through the high court to the government and claim for higher compensation. Yeah, in case if you need any help, our experts are always on your way.
All right. So
Yeah.
I think we have already. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, so I think if there are any other questions that are unanswered, we can go for another video, or you can check out to Vakil Search's YouTube channel and Instagram channel for more videos on the unanswered questions, Riya. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there are some unanswered questions, but it's not a concern because all the questions will be answered separately in a video. And I would also suggest the audience that they can get expert advices from the website, and the link is in the bio. You can go get it through the Logical Indian ones, or you can get it through Vakil Search. So that option is always open. Now I think it's done for today. Like, there are some questions I can see, but because of the timing thing, we'll deal with it separately. So it was a wonderful and informative session, Damini, I must say. Thank you so much for making this happen. Also, a recorded version of this session will be streamed soon and will be accessible on our social media platforms. So this marks the end of the event. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining and being a part of this session. See you again. Thank you once again, Damini.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Riya.
Thank you.